AI will help you brainstorm. It'll help you write. It'll help you build almost anything. But there's one thing it almost never volunteers. It won't tell you when your idea is structurally weak. And this is important. And if you've ever asked AI, what do you think of this? You've probably gotten something back like, this looks promising. Great start. Love the direction. This might feel encouraging, right? But it's not decision grade feedback. And this is what we're after. And if you're building a real practice, you're dealing with pricing, offers, emails, and launches. And you have to know that polite feedback can quietly cost you months. So in this video, I'll show you a simple method that we use. It's called honest. It's a way to get clear, useful, and specific critique from AI without triggering ego protection or getting fluff. We don't want that. This is so important. And I'll give you prompts along the way that you can copy and paste right into your favorite AI tool. Super easy. So if you're ready, let's do it. AI won't tell you when your idea is weak, and polite AI feedback can cost you months. Here's the problem in one sentence. Most AI tools are trained to be helpful and agreeable, not to be sharp and critical. And this is by default. And that's not evil. That's not conspiracy. It's actually useful most of the time. But when you need honest critique, like you're making a real decision, that default helpfulness turns into fog. And fog is expensive because fog makes you keep building instead of asking the more important question, is this even sound? Sometimes the most supportive thing isn't encouragement, it's clarity. Helpfulness becomes fog, and encouragement isn't always support. Clarity is. Let's make this practical for our world, which is wellness practitioners and values forward business owners. You need honest AI feedback when stakes are real. Like, for instance, say you're about to change your pricing or you're launching a new offer or membership tier. Or it could be that you're writing a sensitive email to a client. Or you could be negotiating, setting boundaries, or changing policies. Maybe you're committing to a new tool, a contract, or a new hire, something with real cost. In those moments, you don't need good vibes. You need someone to say, here's where this breaks. Here's what's missing. Here's what a skeptical client will notice. These are all important. AI is most valuable when it helps you avoid preventable mistakes, not when it helps you feel better about them. That's not good. Honest feedback matters in a wellness business, and AI is valuable when it prevents mistakes. So why does this happen? Because AI is extremely sensitive to your framing. If you present an idea like it's your identity or like it's fragile or like you're seeking approval, AI tends to respond like a supportive friend. This isn't what we want. And that's where we get ego protection. Not because AI knows you in some mystical way, but because it's reading your signals, your tone, your wording, your emotional posture, your implied need. If you ask a vague question, you get vague reassurance. If you ask for a real evaluation, you can get a real evaluation, but you have to set the conditions. AI mirrors your prompt posture. If you want honesty, your prompt has to invite honesty. AI mirrors your posture. If you give a vague question, you get vague reassurance. Here's the method we use. It's 6 levers. You don't need all 6 every time, but for high stakes decisions, they are gold. And it's easy to remember because it spells out honest. HONEST. H for hit reset, O for open the lens, N for neutralize ownership, E for expand the questions, S, stress test the idea, and T, tune the feedback. I'll walk you through each of these with easy to follow copy and paste prompts. So first up is H for hit reset. If your AI tool uses memory or personalization, it learns your preferences over time. It gets better at pleasing you, and that's great for productivity, but it can reduce the value of its critique. So when you need honest feedback, start a new chat. Use temporary mode or incognito mode. Turn off memory if you can. Not because memory is bad, but because you want neutrality. Context creates loyalty, and a fresh chat creates objectivity. So here's a quick prompt for you. You can paste in at the top of a new chat. Today I need evaluation, not encouragement. Please be direct, specific, and practical. This prompt tells AI exactly what you want. This will give you more valuable feedback. This is so important. The second letter is O, open the lens. Most people ask AI for feedback with no lens at all. So AI gives generalities. Instead, assign a clear role. Here are 3 aligned lenses. Lens 1, devil's advocate. The goal here is counter arguments, blind spots, unintended consequences. So here's a prompt that you can use to achieve exactly that. Act as a devil's advocate. Challenge this idea by pointing out flaws, counter arguments, missing evidence, and unintended consequences. Be specific and practical. This prompt is super helpful. Now on to Lens 2. Red Team Reviewer. The goal here is to hunt for weaknesses, the way security teams do. Find failure points before reality does. Here's the prompt. Act as a red team reviewer. Your job is to find where this fails, assumptions, loopholes, risks, and weak reasoning. Be direct and specific, and then suggest fixes. Do you see how this can help you get better feedback? Does that make sense? Now on to Lens 3, structural editor. The goal here is clarity, coherence, logic, and audience fit. Here's the prompt that you can copy and paste into your favorite tool. Act as a structural editor. Evaluate clarity, logic, sequencing, and audience fit. Identify what's confusing, what's missing, and what to simplify. This prompt is huge, so helpful, because you don't need harshness, but you do need a clear job description for the AI. So don't ask for feedback without a lens. Now back to honest. We are on N for neutralize ownership. This one surprises people. AI often softens feedback when it thinks the idea is yours. So remove the ego attachment in the framing. Instead of something like, here's my idea, what do you think? Try this. A colleague is considering this idea. I want to help them avoid wasting time. Please identify the weaknesses. Here's the prompt for that. A colleague is considering this and asked for my honest help. Please point out weaknesses, risks, and what they're not seeing so they don't invest in a flawed direction. Just paste in the idea. Psychological distance increases diagnostic accuracy. And by the way, this is not self-deception. It's about removing the AI's instinct to protect your feelings. Remove ownership to reduce fluff. Distance increases diagnostic accuracy. This is important for clarity. Now we're on to E for expand the questions. This is where most people get stuck. They ask, what do you think? Instead, ask questions that force structure. Here are 5 that work extremely well. Number 1, assumptions. What assumptions am I making that could be wrong? Number 2, client skepticism. What would a skeptical, thoughtful client hesitate about? Number 3, failure prediction. If this fails in 6 months, what's the most likely reason? Number 4, capacity and nervous system reality. What part of this plan is likely to overwhelm a solo practitioner? And number 5, ethics and trust. Where could this unintentionally pressure people, confuse them, or reduce trust? Vague questions generate reassurance. Specific questions, on the other hand, generate useful constraints. So next up is S for stress test the idea. This is where we turn critique into strength. Ask the AI to pressure test under time constraints, under low attention, under market skepticism, and under your actual capacity. And here's the prompt for that. Stress test this plan under real-world conditions, limited time, imperfect execution, client skepticism, and limited attention. And where does it break first? What's the simplest fix? And if you're working on an offer or a launch, add this. Evaluate this for clarity, trust, and nervous system safety. Identify any urgency or pressure signals, even if unintentional. Because ideas break either in simulation or in real life. It's better for this to happen when you're simulating, always. Stress test under real constraints, because it's better to break in simulation than in public. And now T for tune the feedback. Let's say you've done everything and the feedback is still soft. Here's the move. Have the AI grade its own critique. And here's the prompt to get this done. Analyze your previous feedback. Rate it from 1 to 100 for how specific, critical, and practically useful it is. Identify the 3 weakest parts of your critique. Then rewrite your feedback, fixing those weaknesses. This works because you made quality the target. You're not arguing with the AI. You're asking it to raise its own standard. This is crucial. AI improves when you make it accountable to a specific guideline. Have AI grade itself. Accountability creates better critique. Now let's add a 5D layer that matters. Honest feedback is only helpful if you can process it. If critique sends you into collapse or overwork, we didn't gain clarity. We triggered overwhelm. We don't want that. So here's how to stay regulated while using this. You're not obligated to implement every critique. Look for repeated patterns, not single opinions. Ask yourself, is this a structural issue or a style preference? Make one change at a time. Is this making sense? If you feel tense right now, even hearing this, that's normal because clarity can feel confronting. But here's the reframe. Clarity reduces anxiety over time. Vagueness feels nice short term, but it creates long term uncertainty. This is honesty without overwhelm because clarity reduces anxiety. Vagueness prolongs it. So let's recap the honest method. H, hit reset. Start a fresh chat for neutrality. O, open the lens. Assign a critic role. N, neutralize ownership. Remove ego protection signals. E, expand the questions. Force specificity. S, stress test the idea. Simulate reality. And T, tune the feedback. Have AI grade and sharpen itself. And the bigger principle is simple. AI is a tool for thinking, not a replacement for discernment. It's all about human-centered AI. If this kind of clarity-based, nervous system-aware business building resonates, you're welcome to explore the 5D wellness community at your own pace. Go to 5dwellness.org and take what's useful and leave the rest. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.